Americans did to the Jewish people. Only difference is that the occupier isn't just controlling their state media, they're controlling the world's media with the help of the United States. This media has a tendency to show the Palestinians as the terrorists. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was evicted from my home, I will fight to get back what's rightfully mine. To me, and presumably the vast majority of the world's population, that is a normal reaction. Yet, the media will have you believe I'm the intruder, when the truth is that I'm fighting to get back what's mine. They're evicting me from my home. They're killing my mother. They're killing my siblings. They're killing my friends. They have me trapped in an open prison with no water, no electricity, no gas, but I'm the terrorist because I threw a rock back. Israel take Palestinian land. The Palestinian people resist. The world calls that resistance terrorism. French resistance in World War II was labeled heroic. Irish resistance under colonial British rule was labeled heroic. What makes this situation any different? Children are being murdered in their sleep. There is no shelter, no safety, no break from Israeli cruelty. People must understand that Israel is the problem, not Hamas. Israel is the occupier. Israel is the relentless and merciless killer. More than 640 Palestinians have been ruthlessly and indiscriminately murdered over the course of 2 weeks in Gaza. That's an average of 45 deaths per day. 45! Now, bear in mind that more than a third of those killed are children, and that Gaza, with a population of 1.8 million people as a whole, is the size of the greater Dublin area. And you begin to see this picture, this grim picture Israel is trying to push under a rug in the name of protecting themselves. There are not two sides. The US and Israel want you to believe there are two sides, but there are not. There is one occupier, one ethnic cleanser, one apartheid state, one home demolisher, one land confiscator, called Israel. The media, in large, as well as the Israeli PR, are doing their utmost to make you people believe Israel is defending itself from Hamas rockets. Well, folks, before there was a Hamas, a Fatah, a PLO, or any other group, there was land theft, ethnic cleansing, and massacre of indigenous Palestinians undertaken by the Israeli army. This isn't just a 2014 thing. This has been happening for 66 years, and we accept it in the hope of achieving peace based on the 1967 borders. Israel says it has a moral army. Israel does not have a moral army, and it's not acting in self-defense. It is deliberately targeting civilians in Gaza. That is a fact. After all, would an army not targeting civilians use white phosphorus on a city? Before I go, I'll leave you with this little statement. When you need to have hundreds of protests to tell the world that killing innocent civilians is not okay, that butchering children is not okay, that bombing 4 boys playing football on a beach is not okay, that is when you know humanity has failed. Thank you.
We're going to hear from Janine now.
Hi, I'm 12 years old. My name is Janine. And so this morning on Facebook I saw a picture of Ronaldo with a bunch of Japanese homeless children. And that's one person. And he helped like 20 people. So like we're like more than 1 million people around the world. So we can help Palestine, make them be free. So if Ronaldo is one person, he can help 20 people. Then 1 million people can help the whole country. So everyone should come on Saturday to the protest to help Palestine be free and to bring down the terrorist, which is Israel.
The Palestinian people have been suffering at the hands of the Israeli might for the past 66 years. They have been oppressed and they have been tortured for far too long. When the Israeli people first came to Palestine in 1948, all they did was start and massacre the people of Palestine for their own joy. In 1948, in a village called Deir Yassin, the Israeli occupational forces attacked the village, destroying it and massacred its entire population, including women and children. And at one point, they took a young girl and raped her in the presence of her own family. And now they're at it again, and the whole world is watching. And in 1982, two villages named Sabra and Shatila, the Israeli occupational forces gathered around it, and again they attacked in the middle of the night, killing everyone, destroying both villages. A massive pile of bodies was found, mutilated, children with their throats slit, young boys who had been lined up on alley walls to be shot, young women would be found with their women who had found with their skirts up to their waists and their legs spread apart. And and a pregnant with her stomach chopped open. A pregnant woman with her stomach chopped open, her eyes still wide open, her blackened face screaming in horror. Countless babies and toddlers who had been stabbed and torn apart, thrown in piles of garbage. And they started again in 2008 in the Gaza war, where they started targeting mosques, hospitals, houses, killing more than 1,400 Palestinians in a 22-day siege. And now, not more than a few days ago, they bombarded the Shatila neighborhood, killing more than 70 Palestinians and injuring 300 more. So far, in the past 2 weeks, more than 600 have been killed, with more than 4,000 injuries. How many more Palestinians have to be killed before the world does something about it? When will Israel quench its thirst for the blood of Palestinians? People like Barack Obama, David Cameron, support Israel, saying Israel has the right to defend itself. So killing innocent women and children is now called defending yourself. Bombarding children playing football on a beach is now called defending yourself. And when the Israeli forces try to warn a family, giving them 3 minutes to leave their homes before they bombard them, where do you expect them to go? What do you expect them to do? Israel is destroying people's entire homes, giving them no shelter, no place to stay, and yet they call Palestinians terrorists. Israel are the terrorists. Israel are the invaders. Israel are the murderers. They have done nothing but torture the people of Palestine for the past 66 years. I will not stand idly by and watch this happen. The least I can do is tell you people about our grim situation, and that one day, hopefully, Palestine will gain its right to live in peace.
God bless the Intifada! God bless the Alright, how are you going? Everyone hear that? It's alright? I'll let it out as loud as I can, okay? It's a privilege to be asked to talk here, especially after all our brilliant Palestinian speakers there. It's very hard to know what to follow up with. But all I can say is, from what we're hearing, the nightmare in Gaza is continuing, right? And as we heard already, that nightmare, it didn't just start 2 weeks ago with this criminal onslaught. It didn't just start 7 years ago with the illegal siege. It started 6 decades ago when the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people began. And the forced expulsions of these people is continuing today. What makes the horror and the nightmare worse today is that the people who are being forced out of their homes in Gaza, as we speak, forced from one town or one little district to another, where they're being bombed in one place to be bombed again. There is no place safe, no place to hide in Gaza. It is outrageous to hear today that this government, our government who were standing outside, abstained when they had a choice to make a stand, to stand with the Palestinians or to stand with the oppressors, to stand with the criminals. Charlie Flanagan, our minister, and the Kenny, you all stood on the side of the Israeli soldiers who are rampaging through Gaza. How low could our government go? I didn't think it could go any lower. But there is still one chance for them to redeem themselves. He's just new in there, okay, so we won't go for him just yet. But Minister Flanagan, I'll tell you, your last chance, we want you to expel the Israeli ambassador. Get him. If he does that, we might be able to give him a second chance. We want the ambassador gone. But not only that, we don't want him back in this country until the siege, the illegal siege, is lifted and the people of Palestine and Gaza are treated like human beings, just like us, standing here. So we want the siege lifted. That's the first thing. And then the second thing, we want a proper ceasefire. The ceasefire that's existed for the last 2 years since 2012 applied only to the Palestine people. Israel was allowed continuing to murder, to shoot farmers, to shoot fishermen, to constantly raid and incur into the streets of Gaza. They're the ones who broke the ceasefire. All right, I was lucky enough to be out in Gaza and to be there and to see the people. The people, and I'm sure some people here, we see how warm, how friendly, how intelligent, how articulate the Palestinian people are. They're the most beautiful people in the world. But that is not what the Israelis want us to believe. They want us to believe that they are mindless robots doing what is being everything Hamas tells them. But we're going to show them that they're not like that, and they're not going to get away with that. Okay. So for me, the time for moderate language is gone. It's over. The time for weasel words, abstaining, or saying both sides are equal in this is over. It's gone. We need a government to make a stand just like the people here. If you are neutral in this, you are on the side of the oppressor. As Ali Abu Nima, a brilliant journalist, Palestinian journalist, said, those of you politicians, leaders, who argued that it was okay for Israel to act in self-defense have now got blood on your hands. Not only have they blood on their hands, they have responsibility. They've given the green light to go ahead for what's happening now. So the moderate language must end. The moderate language has to stop. There are no two sides in this conflict. There are no two sides in what's happening to the people of Palestine. How can there be two sides when a man who went rumbling through to see was there any survivors in a building was shot? And as he lay wounded, he was shot again by a sniper. How? Tell me, the media, tell me, as a journalist, I studied journalism, there is no two sides to that story.
Nazis!
There is no two sides. When 4 children were playing hide and seek on a Gaza beach, then decided to play a bit of soccer. Next thing, their lives are taken away and they're blown up. There is no two sides to that story. There is no two sides. When a rehabilitation clinic for people with spinal injuries is levelled and 2 disabled women in wheelchairs are killed, how is there two sides to that story?
Nazis!
We need to be strong. We need to be clear. We're not going to play that game anymore of 2 equal sides. We need to be out there calling on the injustice. As Jon Snow said from Channel 4, if any other country in the world was committing the crimes that Israel is committing, it would be, never will it be tolerated. Okay? It has to be said loud and clear. Zionism is racism. Zionism is racism. I had a brief experience of a small fraction of what the people of Palestine are facing right now. The IDF soldiers looked at us when we were on the boat to Gaza. They boarded the boat illegally. They stared at us with their assault rifle, and the pure hatred I saw in that soldier's eyes. I knew that if I was Palestinian, they would have no doubt have hesitated. They would have shot and they would have killed everyone on the boat. But now, because we're white, we're okay. In Palestine right now, they treat them as subhuman. And there are great Israeli people. Do not get me wrong. Absolutely brilliant. But the underlying ideology of Zionism, which is what's underpinning this current illegal action, is pure evil. It's evil. It's Zionism. It's racist. It needs to be called out as such. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that next. The problem is, we have to take hope against such overwhelming force. But we need to call out when we see it, the racism and the overwhelming force against the Palestinians. The big problem, what makes the injustice worse, what makes a big problem is when the narrative is framed in favour of Israel all the time. People, some commentators, intelligent people say, well, if the rockets would just stop, everything would be okay. Well, I've got news for those commentators. The rockets did stop. They stopped in 2012. For 3 to 5 months, there was no rockets fired. In that time, Israel broke the ceasefire. Within 24 hours, they shot a farmer in Khan Yunis. And where was the outrage? We had none. So we need to look at the sequence of events. This is the problem underpinning everything. If we take a stand, take a strong position, as everyone here does, then we will call out Zionism for what it is. The other big problem facing us is the Israeli spokespeople are liars. They lie. They lie repeatedly. They lie about human shields. That's the #1 lie they throw out there. The government, the media cannot accept it. They lie. We saw the people of Gaza. They're beautiful people, intelligent. They will not just they're not mindless robots. They're able to think for themselves. They've got nowhere to go. That's why people are being killed. That's why it's happening. So they lied about human shields. They lie about white phosphorus. They lie about using live ammo. They lie about kidnapping us in international waters. They're liars. We cannot believe a word they say. On top of that, the recent lie about the terror tunnels. That this is all about terror. Get rid of the tunnels. Well, if that's the case, why was a 5-month-old baby killed on that day, of the very first day of that land invasion? We need the media to ask those questions. And in fairness to them today, they are here. They're reporting on this. The groundswell of opinion is changing. They're going to change the media. The people here will change the people at the top. Better believe it. Have hope in that. It's going to change. It's going to change starting on Saturday. And I always get my hope from the people of Gaza especially. They are an inspiration. Because in the face of the stuff talked about there, in the face of people like Barack Obama, who said that what country in the world would tolerate missiles raining down on the cities of Israel? Well, if Barack Obama, okay, and our Minister Charlie Flanagan and Enda Kenny, the EU leaders, if they could just extract themselves from that warped Israeli narrative, ask themselves this question, right? Ask themselves, what country in the world would tolerate not just flimsy missiles that you could make in junior cert woodwork class? What country in the world would tolerate 1,000 kilogram bombs raining down on your population endlessly? What country would tolerate chemical weapons like white phosphorus being used? What country would tolerate these flechette shells, illegal, indiscriminately shooting out millions or hundreds of shells to kill anyone in the radius? What people would tolerate ambulances being targeted? Would tolerate hospitals being levelled? Would tolerate 100 schools, 170 children being killed? Families being wiped out? Generations being killed? And it's been going on for 6 decades. What country would tolerate it? No country would tolerate it. I look around at these people here now and you're asking me for hope. And this is where I see the hope. Right here. I see it in that Palestinian flag. No country would tolerate it. Look at this. We're going to boycott Israel. We're going to kick the ambassador out. We're going to keep going till Palestine is free. Till the siege is lifted. And we're going to keep coming back here till the politicians get the message. Because we get the message, and we're going to be back Saturday, and we're going to free Gaza! Free Gaza! Free Gaza! Free Gaza! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Thank you very much.